The first rule in grip sport is you tell everyone about grip sport.
Crushing, pinch grip, thick bar, wrists.
If the best guy in the world can't lift 100 pounds on it, I don't give a shit about it.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Grip Show. And we have the Feet Meet Invitational Part 2, or the second iteration of it. So, Alex, joining me again here. So, second time you've done this competition and or hosted this competition. Second time you've done it too, right? Competing as well.
I'm a repeat customer. I'm not only the founder, I'm a player too.
Yeah, you liked the first one so much you decided to sign up for the second one. I get
right.
it. But yeah, so it's an interesting competition that you pretty much debuted last year, where you're taking a lot of things are separated between like feats of strength and competition lifts, whether that be bars or loading pins, but that's most competition lifts are in that format. We have seen some of the inch carries and other, feats being mixed in for other competitions, but you pretty much made this the feet meet for a reason, because you're taking it back to really just feats of strength and not so much just like numbers. There's obviously numbers involved, but it's not like, well, I did 305 pounds on this. It's like a lot of this stuff is just objects in different increments, and you lift them or you can't, or you have to kind of be selective with it. So how did you feel moving from the first competition last year into sort of keeping the event somewhat consistent, but changing a few things up?
Yeah, so we kept it pretty consistent. What we did was we added an event. We added an anvil lift event, but with real anvils. So I thought that was a fun addition with the 5 anvils and going up the ladder. So I think it's more fun than like loading pin anvils for sure. It's more in the spirit of the contest. So we finished with the anvils, but we kept all the events. I didn't get rid of any events to do it. So it was like 6 events, but that's allowed. You can do whatever you want when you host, you guys.
Right? Yeah, I got to exercise that hosting freedom. Like, why is Little Bighorn being contested for the 10th time this year? I don't know. Change it. But yeah, and also for anybody that's promoting a competition like this, just make sure you got 5 anvils or however much stuff we had there. I mean, if anybody gets to see some of the pictures or checks it out, I mean, man, you had like a pretty big lineup of stuff out there, from the grippers to the steel bars. We were been a lot of that was drill rod, right? Or most of that was drill rod.
It was all drill rod. So that's a little bit of a change that we did this year. Was last year we went just purely by diameter of the drill rod. So this year, since then, I've started rating drill rods, so we were able to have like actual like rated bars, which comes into play a little bit because drill rods so close to each other in diameters that you get like a harder batch of a smaller diameter. It could jump maybe even like 2 sizes in difficulty.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like grippers almost, where you might have a number 2 or whatever.
Right.
You get like a low 2.5 and a really, really high 2, and they might end up being like the same or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a cool move. So I guess we could just kind of break down just what the events were in order, and then just kind of jump into it from there.
Sounds good. So like the first event, it's like the Mash Monster Grippers, which is like a special event, and it's not like a true RGC like gripper event. I had because the first Mash Monster, not everybody can close it. It's probably like in the 150s. Even I didn't close it this year. We'll get into that in a second. I have a thought about that, about judging and competing. But so it's like the Mash Monster ladder. These are the certification grippers that were mailed all over the world. So it's a very cool opportunity, especially for people coming for the first time. That like it's their first time to get to close it. We had like 4 people closed them for the first time, including you, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's your first time. Yeah. Congrats.
Well, when they did away with the Mash Monster ladder, when Gripboard got turned over to Canon, I probably wasn't ready at that time for the MM1. I don't do a lot of grippers, but I was planning on doing it at some point, because I had just done like the close number 3 and you get the MM0.
Right.
So that was my next jump, was going to be the MM1. And then like the month after that, it was like, hey, this is no longer a thing. And I was like, man, I missed that. So getting to do those at your place was, it kind of let me at least know that like without too many spoilers, not that this matters, but yeah, I closed the MM1 and then I was pretty close on the two. So it's nice to kind of have that reassurance that, okay, I could close the one. I know now it's not a
Right.
doubt in my head. And then, okay, the two is doable, or I was right there, under different circumstances, maybe, or a little bit of training. So I at least kind of know that I could probably have knocked those two out for the
Yeah,
for
no,
the
exactly. Then it's a
original.
pretty big jump to three, but yeah.
Yeah, and
So
that's why I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying I would do that all
it's
that.
like it's really like it's designed to let people do the mash monsters. So we have like some lower RGC grippers, so people get a score, and that's like really the only reason. I know like some people are saying, "Oh, do you want like there?" I went to like a 138.3. People are like, "Oh, do you want to do like a 145 or something?" And I'm like, no, it's not like an RGC gripper contest event. It's like really those are just in
Mhm.
case you can't, just so you don't zero the event. It's like
Yeah.
really a mash monster gripper event. That's like
And I think that's a good
yeah,
thing to have on hand too, because if we're just expecting everybody to, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of strong people out there, but it's not realistic to have, especially some people doing first time competition, maybe first time they've really even done grippers, to,
right,
oh yeah, just get out here and close a 158. I mean,
yeah,
that's a big ask, or
right,
whatever, whatever it ends
exactly.
up being.
And
So
then, but yeah, so and I mean, everybody is strong. Some of the strongest guys are like the less gripper guys, because like all by like somebody like Ty or Mike or something, they're like
mhm.
excellent strongmen and power lifters, but like less seasoned in grip itself. But they both closed the 138. I mean, that's closing a three. Like that's
Yeah,
nothing to laugh at.
no, not, yeah, not at
Nothing to
all.
sneeze at. But
And
yeah, so,
man, there's one other thing I was going to mention about the Mash Monster thing. Oh, the order in which you ran it. So, everybody kind of had their, closes on the smaller ones or warm up period, basically.
yeah, and that's
And
also nice. It lets like me like see a close in case somebody's got like this wild swing or something. I can like see it on a gripper before the mash monsters.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jedd thinks he's Bruce Lee punching the air and whatever else he's doing. Jedd's the only one I saw with the extra wild punch.
Yeah,
Not
he's got
he gets into it.
like a yeah pause. You have to watch Jed's close because you'll think you like missed it because he like stutters and then he like closes.
So,
But you look away and you'll miss it.
yeah. But I like how you did it, where a lot of competitions I've been to, they will do the grippers or any event, but especially grippers, where it's kind of like, warm up and then kind of go take your attempt. And there's not really an order to it. So
Mhm.
sometimes people will kind of do the order by, gripper. Like you just went straight in order. It's like once, everybody got their shot at the smaller grippers, it's like, okay, we're all basically just going to file through for the MM1. You get it or you don't. Okay, now we're going to file through for the MM2. So it wasn't that kind of like, well, somebody got a 10-minute rest and then this person got a 30-second rest. And I mean, there was like nothing inconsistent. It was all just like, I mean, revolving,
Right.
and you knew when you were going and you knew what was next. And I thought that was a very good way to organize it. And I mean, and that was kind of the same thing for the increments on anvil and other things. So that kind of,
Yeah, I do try to
you know,
always keep like the rest cadence in mind because I'm like a competitor first. Like I
mm.
host it, but so I think I do like try to keep that sort of stuff in mind.
Oh yeah, no, but I
Yeah.
love that part about it, because I haven't, to my recollection, and maybe because it's a feat and not like a number where you're just sitting attempts out and they're loading the pen up for rising bar. But I don't know another competition I've done where everybody kind of all had their shot to kind of file through on like a certain feat. I mean, you do it for the loading pin, you can skip or who's taking the weight, but for this, it was like, I mean, if you skip one on here, you might not close the two. I mean,
Right.
you can't just
Yeah.
skip. So like you're pretty much taking every attempt at that point, because just where the grippers are and kind of the way it's going. So I just thought it was a good thing. I won't rant and rave about it too much, but yeah, no, I liked it because it kept things very smooth and organized, and there was just no like excess or uncertainty or anything that was like, hey, what are we doing? How many attempts does he have? One or two? Like,
Oh,
no,
right. Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you
Like,
knew exactly when people were
yeah.
coming up. Yeah, it's the MM2. So this is your second time up here,
Right.
unless you're closing
Yeah.
smaller grippers. So really great. And it worked well for the anvils too. So just, I,
Oh,
I wasn't at
thanks.
the
Yeah.
first one, but yeah, hats off to you for for just running it organized like that. So, um, yeah, and then we can get into grippers, or if you want to kind of go down like, okay, the next thing was bending steel. We could do,
Yeah, no. So the grippers were fun. I'll just give the shout outs. Like, so Jedd closed the two, and Sal closed the two, and he was a first time closer. So that's like a big congrats. And then you and Zach Stanowitz and Larson Quick all closed the one. So
yeah, it's
guys all should get your moment of glory. Shout them out in the comments. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
well, I don't think that Jedd and Sal were too far off the three. I didn't
they,
get the
they,
best
they,
look,
they
but
were both close, and Sal was like really, really close.
yeah,
And I mean, Sal's not even like setting the grippers. If he's got a year to like learn how to set grippers, and like I think he'll. And if you get the three, then you should get the four, and then maybe the five. So yeah,
yeah.
so you can
So,
have a deeper run next year.
and that's almost half the
Yeah,
pack there, though, that was on the technically the Mash Monster ladders. So that's I mean
yeah, yeah,
that's a
and
solid. That's pretty balanced, and that's I think a good sign to start the competition.
yeah,
But
no, for sure. And so just like one little thing that I learned, first for other people, like if you're like judging, so like I like last year, and so like Chaz and Vinny were like my gripper judges. I was just standing on the side, just like writing. So it was like no big deal for me to like then take my attempts. But here, like I was judging them all until like my turn. I thought it was actually
yeah,
very hard to go from like judging so many in a row because it's like very intense, like judging the
yeah.
grippers. In fact, like so much so that next year I think it was probably too much to ask Chaz and Vinny to do it. I'm going to try to like get someone who's not participating
Yeah.
to do the
Well,
judging
and you
because I
also
was
kind of
because
cool
I
down
missed the
too.
one and like I maybe it was a little bit because I was already thinking about the two, but I think part of it, like but I didn't have like quite enough time to like get that mindset,
Yeah.
like so that's like something like when you're like hosting a gripper event, try to like at least stop judging a few attempts before like your own.
Yeah, well, and just for
Yeah,
warm-ups, I mean, your warm-up sake. I mean, you might have missed some warm-ups because you're judging 10 or 11 grippers and then you have to jump right in and do it. And although
right.
when
Yeah,
you're
so
coming up, you still don't have the freedom to kind of warm up and as you please.
right,
So,
like it's like a very like most events, it's very easy to be like to write down like, oh, I hit the crossbar and then like I go take my attempt. But yeah, the
yeah.
grippers was a little bit different. I wasn't quite like ready for that, so that's just like a good thing that I learned for in the future.
No, I think it's good
Yeah.
advice. Yeah. Um,
But yeah, so it was a successful run through the Mash Monsters, also a bunch of new closers. And we had a tight contest going to event two, which was reverse steel bending. And after one attempt, our very own Grip Show host, Zach
oh.
Mullins, was in the lead with a 370-pound reverse bend. At which
Yeah,
point he
just
decided to chill on his reverse bend lead. And then,
yeah,
like,
I didn't take any other attempts. I bent that one
yeah,
bar because that was kind of the goal I put in my head. And then I thought, like, man, I haven't been bending and I never really have bent consistently. I've done some like side quests or certifications messing
right.
around, but
No,
it's not like I really like even warmed up. I usually would just be doing a workout and then just jump on a bar and hey, let me see if I can do it
right.
today. But I
Yeah,
mean, I'm familiar with it though, so I'm not like totally like a fish out of water. But I
right.
definitely am
No,
not
that was a
claiming to
good
be a
bend
bender.
because that's very close to the winning bends because like me, Sal, and Jed all did 385, which was only like that was like just the next harder
Yeah.
rating
Well,
that we
and
had.
now we talk about hindsight. I kind of wish I would have at least took one more attempt just to see
Right,
how it
just
would
take
have
a
went
crack
because
at
with
it.
strongman scoring, I could have been right
Yeah,
there on
yeah.
that starts to matter,
Yeah.
So
And then we all like all of us missed our like harder attempts. I think we each had like at least two tries at harder bars, but so then we
oh
ended
yeah.
up in the three-way tie. And so reverse bending. So because this is like a grip contest, like I run real bending contests, bending only
Yes.
contests.
Yeah,
But
I should mention that yes, really as far as I'm not saying the other stuff isn't sanctioned. There probably are some other bending stuff, and you would probably be able to speak on it better than me. But I know that you've put in a pretty good effort for sort of reviving steel bending within grip sport. And you're also running, I mean, steel bending competitions where people can, qualify for nationals and other things. Even if it doesn't have a grip sport event, just through the bending stuff and placement and sanctioning,
yeah, Jed will
it's keeping that
sanction like
history of
the
it.
Jed will
Mhm.
sanction like the bending only events, so the guys can like qualify for nationals and stuff.
But that wouldn't be
But
happening without you. You know what I mean? So
right.
you're running more events than just the feet meet. This is the grip one, but yeah, you're doing steel bending across the board as well.
Yeah. And so for other like people, so like you can put like reverse bending in your grip contest because it's like a grip event. As you can see, I mean, the top three of the top four guys were the top in reverse bending ended up in like the top three. And last year, the top three guys in reverse bending also ended up the top three. So
Mhm.
it's like pretty correlated to like overall. It's not like a random event where you get like all different people winning the event.
Yeah,
So like you can put it in your grip contests, and
it's
so like
safe.
yes, and if you're worried that like oh people don't know how to do it, so the way we did it, so it was everybody got four attempts, but we staggered the first attempt to like people who like weren't like totally sure what they were doing, like if maybe they did it wrong. So I think like four or five people, like three or four people at least, like went first while we were able to like watch them and be like no, like the hands have to be like this. It can't be like that, you know? So that's just like, it was just like a way to like, just ensure that like everybody was comfortable with the event just by staggering the first round. After that, we all went at the same time. Just kind of
Yeah, and
too.
also there was well, it was Iron Mind pads for anybody
Yeah.
that's familiar. So it's the
So
Cordura
like
wraps.
yeah, so like pretty light wraps and the same wraps for everybody. But you know the bends are a little bit lower with like Iron Mind wraps if you have like big old leather wraps, like the bends are higher. But
Yeah.
yeah, also then it gets hard to have like consistent like leather across that many people.
Well,
Like
I know when you
especially
have
if people
like
like bringing their own leather.
yeah, so when you have like leather and suedes though, it's like it's just real like flexible or like pliable in a way. So I mean, you really can kind of I feel like it's easier to wrap that as far as the like folding the Iron Mind pads into like thirds and then trying
Oh
to have
yeah,
that
it's a
like
little
that's a
bit.
thing, you know, and then trying to wrap the bar. I mean, there were people there that, you know, we talk about first time bending. I mean, even though I've done some bending, I'm still not good at like preparing the bar. I mean,
Right.
and typically a lot of my certifications and stuff were like very thin, like single suedes, very easy. Where Iron Mind, yeah, you start getting like things like folded up or it
Yeah,
looks weird on one
yeah.
side. So I want to give a shout out to the better steel benders or the people that had done it more for helping some of us newer at it to kind of, you know, roll the bar up or kind of, hey, give some tips on site. Devin Hoover was another one that was doing a lot of that. He may or may not be sponsored by Eat Chalk Get Big. But yeah, if you're trying to get some beginner bending stock, some crazy bars or whatever, yeah, reach out to Devin at Eat Chalk Get Big. But yeah, no, he was helping out with some of the wraps, and I think he might have even kind of fixed up one of the sides on mine for for the
Ah,
only bend
nice.
I did.
There you
But
go.
yeah, so there's a little bit that goes into it like that, but the same thing that we see on the other grip events, if there's more experienced people, they're generally trying to help the people out. They want to go against better competition, not like keep you in the dark so that they get
Right,
better. Oh,
right.
if I don't tell them how to rap, I'll just win this event. Like, no, it's like I want you to bend as good as you can so that when you win, you win, you know. So I thought it was great participation and kind of teamwork, even though people are competing against each other. They, you know, kind of came together to make sure that people weren't just like, I don't know, bending from a completely,
Right, just
you know,
terrible,
a
terrible
disadvantaged
loose wraps
position.
or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway,
So I thought that no, I thought it worked well, and yeah, the whole event went smooth. Like none of us like were able to bust through to like that next big bend. Sal got the closest. He got
yeah,
like
he was
actually
pretty
two
close.
bars further, like 410. We had a 390, and but 410 like he got to like 35, 36 degrees. It has to get to
Yeah.
40 degrees. So he was right there. Like I mean, and he was like right there at the like MM3. So I
Oh yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
as the contest goes on, like you're gonna see like the theme, like 'cause at the top, like between like Jedd and Sal, like it just was like a little bit of like execution and a little bit of getting help from the other people when you need it that like separated them. Because like Sal had like the closest miss on the three. I think his was even like closer than Jedd's, which was pretty close, and by far the closest miss in for winning the bending.
Mhm.
And then
Oh yeah. No, like I said, I almost thought looking at the bar before I think he set it down, I was kind of like, oh man, like looks pretty good. And it's like I
yeah,
said,
yeah, he's like, oh, it's a
to
little short,
eyeball
but
it.
so I was like, dude, that's close enough. I'm gonna measure it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna like take your word that you failed it. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance. But
That's
yeah,
funny.
so no, he did
Yeah.
it. But yeah, so it's all good. But yeah, so I think that's sort of like the early theme is like just like a little bit of like the execution on the close misses that might come into play later in the overall
Mhm.
points. Because at this point, like Jedd and Sal are tied for first,
Mhm.
and you're probably in third because you got
Yeah.
you closed MM1, so you're like
And
tied
then been a
for
bigger bar.
third, and then you
Yeah.
bent. So you would have been ahead of me because even if though I like went out of event, I only closed 138, which was like a huge
Okay.
tie. So yeah, so you
Okay.
were
Yeah.
like after two, you were like definitely like in third, which actually like that was sort of like the final. So pretty early
Yeah.
on, it like the pack separated a
Yeah.
bit.
But there were still some moments that like let's say whoever was in that position, they still had to deliver because if they slipped up on like one increment or something,
Right.
it was
Yeah.
very, very close to either a tie or getting passed by the next person.
Yeah, and
Um, it-
maybe yeah, especially because like Euro. So we can just like get to Euro because there was
yeah, yeah.
like a bunch of so event three was two-handed Euro. Like the most famous. That's the most famous GSI. Like, I think that's like the most hallowed
It,
GSI record.
I think
Like,
so. I mean,
it's like
yeah, I would agree.
like through 100 people, it's like, some of the lists like don't even have 100 entries, and like some of them like it's a huge drop off from 1 to 100. But like here, like there's like 100 good lifts. Like it's like hard to
Yeah.
break in even like on the bottom end. And like Cody
Yeah.
Burns has had that record for a long time, and he like beat it
Mhm.
from Jedd, who probably beat it from Aaron Corcoran, and just like legend after legend.
No,
So
yeah,
yeah,
it's a cool list to look at because
yeah,
the top like 5 to 10 is all pretty wild, and
yeah.
you can like see everybody just jumping each other, and it's so close right there at the top.
Yeah.
So
So that was the next event, and so I think what do we start? We started at like maybe like 1:30. Jedd's was it waited to like 67 or something. And then we started with 25s on each side. So at 1:30, everybody was good. 1:50, everybody was good. I'm pretty sure. 1:70, we might have like lost somebody, but like it was still pretty much like everybody was in. Actually, no, I'm off by tens. So I think at like 180, we still had like most of the people.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And then so then it was like at 200 is when we started to like lose the pack. And
Yeah, I
there
mean
was a
that's
couple
pretty
of
much like
misses.
everything
Like
fell off.
Ty
Yeah.
like just missed 200. I just missed 200. I think we might have been the closest misses. You made 200.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Well, I
harder than
think
it should
Zach
have been, but
Stanowitz also just missed. There was a few just
yeah,
misses. Yeah, I
Zach was
remember.
about halfway up. Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember like you were like, oh, that like you got it, but I remember you did like have you
Yeah.
didn't walk away confident and like
No, I wasn't looking forward to going back up the next attempt. But I also
right.
was I was talking to Jedd a little bit, and I don't know if it was just doing other stuff, maybe the width slightly being wider than what I've done before. I honestly think it was just technical errors on my part. I think I just had like a mental lapse, and I was just using kind of stupid technique on the Euro, and I mean, it's something that I wouldn't normally anticipate in myself because, like, oh, I've been taking time to prepare for this stuff, and I know, quite a bit about, how to set up on different things or the technical side of lifts, and I've done so many competitions now and have done all these things. But yeah, I mean, just competing as often as I have, and even being familiar with the lift and already being lifting much more in the past on it, yeah, going back and kind of looking at it, and even Jedd mentioned a few things, and I was like, man, I really was kind of using some garbage technique and like why was I doing that? I have to go back and check my other videos. Is that something I've been doing and I'm not aware of it? So
Right.
I'm
It's easy
you
to
know
slip into like bad habits with
yeah.
everything, but I
So
mean, it looked fine to
some
me. I'm
homework
not
to
like,
do.
yeah, I'm not like a Euro technician. Jedd's
Yeah.
gonna turn me into one. I traded my a steel betting like care package so you could trade for his like Euro like how to Euro video. So like I do
Okay.
more. Obviously, I have to do more studying since I just missed the crossbar, which I think. Either it was being lazy in training and training too often without the crossbar just because being lazy to bring it out, or
Mhm.
maybe I was just like a little too sumo-y. So like when I was up, like
Oh,
the range of
okay.
motion
Yep.
shorter, and so then like you have to like shrug the last bit if like the range of motion is too short. But it was one of those things. I don't know. We got work to
Yeah.
do. But at least I was like with the pack this year because like I
Oh
think
yeah.
last year I just got like drubbed in last place. So I love Euro, but I'm like dreadful at it. So at least now
Well,
I'm
that lot can happen in a year though.
yeah, now I'm like pack now I'm like pack dreadful. So next year if I can like chip the pack and then like in 2 years you guys are in trouble.
I mean, it might maybe a couple weeks I'd already be in trouble. I mean, yeah, I like I said, I definitely underperformed on that one, but I kind of went back and looked at stuff and analyzed it. I know what I was doing and I know what's going on with it, but yeah, just it's a mistake that, maybe cost me some points and definitely, I mean, was well under what I've done in the past. So I just kind of like,
Yeah. Well,
but I just had to jump into the next event because I knew the next two events were going to be pretty good for me from that point on. So I was like, well, let me just
yeah.
jump right into that because I can't do anything about
So I
the
think I
the
don't know if
Euro.
it didn't like necessarily like cost you points because you did like beat the pack, but
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
true.
like then when you
Yeah.
see that like Jedd missed around 220, then I think it's what you've done before. You're like, oh shit, damn, I could have
Yeah.
like I could have
Yes.
like gotten second.
Yeah.
So we'll get into what Sal did at the end. I'm not sure if you've done that before because so Sal like they did 220 and then I think Jedd missed 230 and
I think
then
that's right.
so Sal got 230 and then so he won the event but like he like smoked 230 and then what he went to like 244 or
He's like
something like
244,
that.
245, and then I think another 10 after
A
that.
little under 10 because
Okay.
so he did like the 244, 245, and it was like still good. So at that point, like you're getting pretty up there. So I think people we like looked up on like the phones what he needed to
Yeah.
get like
Yeah.
a record that he'd be happy with. And I think it was like if he beat Aaron Corcoran at like 120 kilograms, I think he was like gonna be happy with the performance, which I think was
Oh
like
yeah.
so he had to like 252, and
Yep.
which he got and convincingly. Like
No,
so, I'm sure
yeah.
he probably had a little bit more in him.
That rep actually looked like better than the probably the two previous ones.
Yeah,
I mean, he even
and
like held it at the top, and I mean, it was well over the bar. I mean, basically just holding it. It was like
yeah.
a full
So
lift, like all the
yeah,
way.
so I think that ends up. We haven't like I don't know if like Eric Russain's right. I think he handles like typing them in. Whoever types them in, I don't know if they've done it, but I think that'll be like number
It's
10
just
all
the man
time.
behind the curtain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
don't look
somebody.
back. Don't look
I
back
don't know
there.
who it is. I don't know who it is. It's how the magic happens, but so I think it'll end up like number 10 all time and like number 2 in the weight class.
Yeah,
So
that
that
sounds
was
accurate to me. I mean, I
yeah.
could look it up in a couple seconds, but
So
yeah,
that was pretty huge, and it was exciting to see. Like everybody
for
was going
sure.
wild. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that was I
so
mean that was one of the bigger lifts for I mean people kind of getting excited. It's tough to I mean the grippers kind of just died off pretty quick because it just you run into high
right,
RGCs early. Steel
yeah,
bending, everybody's kind of doing it somewhat at the same time, and you're not really
right,
focused on the bar, so there's not really that like crowd aspect as much.
yeah, yeah,
But with the Euro, everybody's sitting around watching, and it starts to
yeah.
be a little bit more of the focal point, and
I think with grippers, if somebody like goes 4, 5, like takes it,
mhm.
I think like you'll get like the same crowd hype.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's usually when that
So
person's kind of like already like won the event and they're just running it up on everybody. Now,
yeah,
granted, for
exactly.
this scoring style, it didn't matter because it's
It
stronger.
doesn't
But
help, but
but on leaderboards and for lifts that are tracked, I mean, the Euro is
very,
one of them out of this
and
competition.
for like street credit.
Yeah, and so and we both know, me and you both know that trumps all this stuff we're talking about.
Right, exactly.
Certifications, um, leaderboard lifts. It's underground street cred over
It was
everything.
like literally the first conversation at like 9 a.m. was like UV and Zach Stanowicz. It was like talking about like fancy contests and like formal results don't matter. What matters is like how
Yeah,
you do against the homies.
yeah. Now real fast. I'm not going to get into any of. Well, we can get into it and talk about it if it pops up, but I'm not even going to like try to look it up or go into details about what Tim Butler did. But for the competition, I was even making a joke. Now I've lived with Tim so much. I mean, and seen what he can do. But I was joking when the competition ended because Tim's had some injuries and other things going on. He wasn't really like redlining every event, and there's some things that were kind of keeping him from being prime Tim. But I was joking because I know how it is. And I said, okay, now that the competition's actually over, now Tim comes to life. And he was out there lifting the 190-pound anvil. He comboed it with the
With the
125
ones,
legacy that nobody else was lifting during the combo lifts for the Blob and
yeah,
Urge. So
exactly. I mean,
that's
when
the
we get to
street
the
cred.
moment, I know we watched like 7 or 8 like near misses like combo lifts with this 125 legacy, and then as soon as the contest ends, Tim lifts
Yeah.
it with the heaviest anvil, 190-pound anvil, and a tough one because I think there's
Yes.
some guys who have lifted 190-pound anvils who didn't get that one.
Oh yeah, the
That's
horn's pretty tough on it. Like just the
yeah,
shape of it. You have to have kind of a bigger hand to really, I think, kind of get on the sides of it and just kind of get a wrap around it. Because if I tried to get down to
and
where my fingers felt good, my thumb was off, and it was just gonna like
right,
it was a tough grab. So
yeah.
yeah, I
So it's
didn't
a
lift that
tougher
one.
one, and
But yeah,
but
but for the street cred, like I'm just gonna make a joke here, but yeah, I don't know what Jedd Johnson lifted on the Euro this time. I know Tim Butler lifted that anvil and that blob, and that's the street cred
yeah,
we're talking about.
exactly,
That's all. Okay.
exactly.
Now I'll go back into normal mode.
Nah.
But yeah,
No,
so
but
yeah,
no,
street cred,
exactly.
it is a thing in grip sport.
No, for sure. It's the thing. And so that like ended like the inside portion of the event.
Mm.
And then so then we get to go outside. It was a nice day, thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, so perfect. So next up was like the Marcy Hub with the weight added. This was like the biggest jump from last year. Last year so it's like the 45-pound plate, then we would add like 5 pounds each time. Um, so I think last year, like most people, like 55, 60 were missing. I think like me and Chaz were the only people who got 65 last year, and then Chaz won at like 70, and like it was over. Here at like 65 pounds, 9 people got the lift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
think that's right.
yeah, and then like at 70, like it died
70 was
out.
kind of a little bit of a dividing point, I think, and it started to
Yeah,
kind
so
of
like
trail
five of
off.
us got 70, but like
Mhm.
so that was sort of like the jump. But at 65 pounds, I mean, that's like people were like killing it. Like
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah,
like I said, that's good lifting. And some people, I mean, have never touched a Marcy Hub, or they're not even really hub lifters either. I mean, just
right.
you know, kind
Yeah,
of showing
no,
up.
and but yeah, so that was cool. Like I mean, people like got like so much better from last year. Like the results were much better. So like we had like a plate full of weight. So yeah, so that was and this is like again. So this was so we had like first was like Jedd benefited from like execution like issues like because Sal like with his near misses, but now it was like from like how the other people did because Jedd like tied for fourth in this
Mhm.
event. And so like to win a contest and you like tie for fourth in events like kind of tough.
Mhm.
But he tied for fourth with the person he with Sal, the person who he was neck and neck with.
Yeah.
So it like really didn't hurt him tying for fourth. Because it doesn't matter if he loses points to me or something. Or to like Zach Stanowitz, and it marginally mattered losing points to you. But like it didn't crush him.
I was no
Like
Alex. I was no competition for Jedd at all. I saw his recap and
I
didn't even
saw
mention me.
but yeah, so that's where like in a contest setting, like some of this stuff, like to tie for fourth, but you would tie for fourth with the person you're neck and neck with. So
Mhm.
that's like a good sign for Jedd going into like his probably two best events. So like because I
Yeah.
think he's still technically losing after event four. After the hub, he's still technically losing by because he tied the first with Sal, lost the tied the second with Sal, lost the third to Sal, tied
Mhm.
the fourth with Sal. So
Yeah.
he's losing after four events, but he's not like buried
No.
even though he got fourth in an event, like, but he got fourth with the person he was tied with.
Yeah.
So he's like in second place after four, but like he's probably not stressing. He's because he's like, oh, it's only half a point or like 1 point, and I've got my best events coming up. So yeah. So but anyways, so we'll like to finish with the hub. So it was fun at the end, like because it was like you, me, and Zach Stanowitz at
Yeah.
70, yeah, at 70, which was kind of fun because it was a little different, like final couple people than like most of the events because it wasn't like Jedd and Sal, so it's like me and the Zachs, like,
Mhm.
which I enjoyed, and you came out on top. Me and
Mhm.
Zach Stanowitz, we both missed 75. No, we both missed 80 and you got 80. We got 75, right?
Okay. I believe that's
Yeah. So
accurate.
we got 75.
Yeah.
And then
So
and then
80
you're the
was
only one
where,
that got
yeah,
80.
which is
Yeah. So
getting up
so
there. I've
that
never
was
attempted more on that plate. I've done two lifts of 80. I did one in Minnesota after Jedd and Eric did
right.
their tiebreaker, and I lifted 80 up there.
What
And
did
then
they get to? They were much lower too,
they were
like in
like 60 or
Minnesota, right?
65 around that time, but it
And
was just
so
those two pushing each other. And
yeah. And
you know what I mean? Yeah, I just don't think they were
so
like
Jedd got 70
wild
here,
about
and
the
that
hubs.
was like pretty critical because there was a big pack at 75. So if
Yeah.
he got at 65, so if he gets 65, that cost him like 3 points. But getting 70, he loses like 0 points to
But
Sal.
Jedd being the veteran competitor that he is,
Like he got the lifts he needed when he needed
he
them.
used his contacts and connections. Probably hasn't ever had a Marcy plate at his gym, but leading
Uh,
up to this competition, he found himself a Marcy plate and he got a couple sessions in on it. That could have been the difference maker
yeah,
this year.
but
So.
Clint.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. Not to even bring up Jedd's old gym tour that I just put up not too long ago, but bringing up Clint, like, yeah, that green bell is Clint's. Jedd needs to give about half that stuff back. People are people are now just finding out, like, oh, that's where that thing went. 10 years? You've been borrowing it for 10 years? Anyway, but yeah, I'm not gonna get trailing off too much. So
It's
yeah,
funny.
back to feet meet. But
There we
yeah.
go. Yeah. So so that's that was the hub lifting. Congrats on like a clean event win. So yeah, that was fun. And then yeah. So what's next? Then is the inch blob combo,
Mhm.
which is like same place. All the three outside events were in the same area. So yeah, and so we did 4 attempts. And so the year before, it was the last event. So in the first year, it was the last event. So like for the fourth attempt, we did a bit. You could have like a bit of a free for all, like 2 minutes or something, to like attempt
Hmm.
whatever combos you wanted to. But since there was like a whole event after, like we just did like the straight four attempts, and I feel like nobody really suffered from that, like not getting to do a free for all. Like,
Yeah, I don't think so. I
yeah,
think it went pretty well.
yeah. So and so that was fun. So a lot of people led with their best lifts, like in a sense I did too. So my first lift, like I matched what I did last year, and then like I missed the next two, and unfortunately like I beat like on the fourth lift, which was pretty cool to like miss two lifts and then like get the fourth
Hmm.
attempt up. And I feel like it happened to like a few people. There was like a few misses in the middle because I feel like people started big. People weren't like, at least at the top guys started like they led with their best. It wasn't like just building over four attempts. It's just kind of interesting because I feel like that's sort of like done mindfully. People like I don't know, maybe like getting a little bit more tired by then. Like and so if it's gonna be like you're ready, like started like fatigue's kicking in, then you're gonna do like three combos before you try your heavy one. So I feel
Yeah.
like the more experienced guys like did lead with their bigger attempts.
Yeah, for the most part. And a cool thing about that event too that I want to point out is for an event like that, I mean, you obviously have your scoring system set up, and there, there's a way with the strongest scoring. It's accurate. It works. It's very good. So that's good. But I'm not even mentioning that. More, it's just about like what the event is kind of testing. Or I want to kind of mention combo lifts because we talk about feats of strength, regular traditional lifts that are tracked, but this one is kind of even in its own category because it's two objects being lifted simultaneously that aren't the same thing. And you don't really get that even in, maybe in a medley if you're doing like two hands and you're able to pick up two things at once. But like for the most part, like even the two-handed lifts of like a Napalm Nightmare, Axel, Saxon, you're not running into different widths or a thick bar versus a pinch or like, opposite stuff in the other hand. So I think that kind of makes that particular event a little bit special because anyone that has tried to do combo feats knows how much harder the lift instantly becomes just having anything in your other hand. The fact that you're lifting two things that aren't the same, the pick height can be different. If one thing slips and isn't chalked right, it can screw up the lift. Like you'll have one thing glued to your right hand and your left hand will slip. You switch it up, now the left hand's perfect and the right hand's failing. It is a tricky thing to land some of your best lifts within that window because the variables. So just something to think about. I mean, if anybody wants to
Right.
do events like that, but it's a cool event because it's almost doing it's it has a little few characteristics that none of the other events in the sport or without doing a combo similar, it would be tough to kind of match that. Everything's pretty much just testing like one thing.
Right. Yeah. No, I love it as an event, and I think it's super fun. Like, and people are like always get excited about it. Yeah. And it's like very cool vibes because you got like all these inch bells and all these blobs, and it's just
Well,
like
and that's you kind of setting the stage up too. We should mention
yeah,
that
just
like
like
there's
super
a
fun.
giant circle with I don't even want to 20 blobs or like 15 bells. I don't. There's a lot. It was just but everybody's in a giant circle watching and all the bells and the weights are surrounding and they're getting rolled to the middle and everybody's
Yeah.
watching you lift. So it's a cool it's cool for the lifters, anybody watching, spectating, and being the lifter. It's nice like oh man you're pretty much like lifted or not, but like all eyes are on you right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Better look there. Yeah. No, it's a little bit different. And I what I like about it, so you like I mean, you get like 30 seconds, you can like stumble and like still do it.
Mhm.
But it's not like you can just be like at home and like try it 75 times and hit it once.
Yes.
Like you like really have to hit it. So like I feel like that's like a cool like aspect of it.
No, no, for sure. And like I said, just being a different thing in each hand and just adding that variety, it makes it just that much tougher. Especially when you get to like maximal things on both.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
because you're getting like the two maximal things, hopefully, to put your biggest score up. You're kind of playing with, two maximal lifts, but it's happening at the same time for a combined lift. So yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe I have to look into maybe other ways, not other ways to get too wild with it, but if there is like a feet style thing, what would like okay, there's obviously like inch dumbbell and blob as a combo because those two are kind of probably the top two, like a thick bar and a pinch for feet. So those two are probably your main stars. But Yeah, like I wonder like if you did like a plate bench and it was loadable. I don't know. I'm just saying there's ideas that maybe could be mixed in for
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
feat, but I don't want to trail off too much or yeah, go down that rabbit hole because there's 100 combos you could do, but some are going to be better for visually at a competition or for scoring or just the practical setup. So I don't know. I've never really thought about that event in that way, but maybe I'll see what I can think of for future stuff. And see if there's anything I could. I don't know if I ever host or do something, might try to mix that in there.
There you go. Yeah, make Jason host it.
Yeah, he needs to do a lot more. But
Uh,
I hate to tell everybody. I mean, it's going to be winter here pretty soon, and we know how much he
it's
doesn't
not
get
gonna
out
be
in
in
the
the
elements,
elements.
and he's. I don't know why. He's in his 50s and he's still skittish, and he's just hesitant about that cold and
Yeah.
just putting in the workouts. I'm not
Right.
going to mess with
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah. But yeah. So before, just how the combo lift affected the overall. So Jedd
Yeah.
won it. So on his like first attempt, he got like 365 points, and
Mhm.
uh, and so you pushed him like it wasn't your first attempt. You got 362 on, but I'm not sure.
It was my second, I think.
Second
And then
attempt. Yeah.
yeah, so
So
I
then
kind of did like I just wanted to get like
so
something high
he
on the
wasn't
board
like
that
in
would,
the clear, yeah, because like you were still like pushing him on the event. And then so Sal got like 342 on one of his first attempts. So Jedd already had you as like a spacer,
Mhm.
and then like his third or fourth attempt, like Zach Stanowitz came with a big combo, tied Sal with 342, so it took more points away from Sal.
Yeah.
Like so that like Jedd clearly like moved into the lead like after this event and going
Okay.
into anvils. So he had it was pretty good. We say he was down by like 1 point before, and then you were his like 1 point to tie, and then so maybe it was a close. It was a
Mhm.
small lead, but he had the
Yeah.
lead to himself after this. Probably a half a point lead thanks to like, Zach Stanowitz tying Sal, and so that's like so he got like like to win you always have to like get stuff like stuff has to go your way and not go the
Mhm.
other guy's way. So he got his spacers there. So
Yeah.
he has the lead now going into anvils. So he just has to win anvils. He doesn't need to like win anvils and have like 7 things happen his way. So
Mhm.
it's like good to be Jedd at this point. And
Yeah.
like if you're
Well, I
Sal,
don't know
like
actually. I'm not sure it is, but okay. Well,
ah, a blade of grass might come to mess with him at any point.
right. Yeah. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I recall him referring to something about grass and other stuff as shrapnel. I don't
Yeah.
know I don't know what they do in Pennsylvania,
I
but
don't know. I mean, like
I'm
it's
wondering.
like a pine needle on the hub or something.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. So going into Anvil's Jedd sitting pretty good with
Yeah.
the way that lineup kind of turned out. But yeah,
So actually, now that I think about it, if it was half a point lead, it's still not so bad to be Sal because he just has to win the event outright too,
yeah.
because then he could win. But still, like if for not being in the lead going into the fifth event and then being in the lead fully, like that's like a good swing for Jedd.
Mhm.
So yeah, so going in, so it was Anvils to finish it off, which I thought was like super cool. Like I liked it. I hope you guys liked it. I think everybody liked it,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I liked it for sure. I mean, yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. I wish I would have lifted the 190. I do believe it's possible,
Uh-huh.
but sixth event of the day, and like I said, just the
Right.
position of it, I just, it didn't happen. I mean, it
No.
just, yeah, I was broken off the ground barely, but it just never felt good, and I just,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I didn't
whatever.
really like break it out the ground. So what I did on the 190 was I got it to like, where the front part like comes off. I lifted the
Yeah.
one, but that's sort of like the first time I tried the 170. That's like how I did it and like just ripped my hand out. So like I improved a lot. Like I had him for a couple months before the contest. So from then, so maybe like I can get the 190 if like I got the 170 after first it being that way when I started. But anyways, yeah. So we had 5 anvils. So like a 96 pounder, that's pretty light for an anvil, especially for the guys. Then like 130, still on the light side. I don't think anybody missed the 130.
I don't think so.
No, but the 154. So there was like, yeah. I think not everybody got the 154, and then but most people did.
That's still a pretty good size anvil. Now I know like the top
Yeah.
anvil lifters might be like, oh, 154 is warm up, but But I
Yeah.
mean, you think about the average person just walking up and picking a 154-pound anvil up by the horn. I don't know, if
Right.
you lay that out in front of the general public, it's not something you're going to see just like casually happen,
Yeah. Like
repeatedly.
most guys who like go to the gym regularly are going to lift a 96-pound anvil. But
Right.
even like a 130, they might not. And the 154, they certainly won't. Like,
Yeah.
even if you're just like a guy who's in shape, you're not going to be serious. 5 minutes. Come here, doggy. But yeah, so you can come here. All right.
Yeah,
So
you're talking to our mascot for the competition.
yes,
Gonna
exactly.
be gonna be featured in the thumbnail
I
for this
know.
one.
He's like, we're
So
on the sixth event. I got to chime in. But yeah, so like the 154, still like most people got it, which was pretty cool. I actually, when you just think about like, oh, like where are we gonna lose people? I thought that would like we'd lose more people 154, but it was pretty cool that most people got it. And then like
yeah.
170 is where we like
Yeah,
lost
I
the
remember. I
pack.
remember thinking I had to lift that 171 because I was like, man, if
Yeah,
I
171.
miss this, I'm just gonna be stuck at 154 tied. I mean, now granted, I don't. It wouldn't probably have affected my positioning because I was probably too far below
I
first and
think you would
second,
have.
and
Yeah, you had fair
But
clearance on
yeah,
both sides of you, but just for morale or whatever, nobody
yes,
wants
yes,
to.
that's more of what it was. I
Yeah,
was just like,
and
man,
then
I
yeah,
need to do
and
better.
so it was the 170 is where we started losing like people, and then but that was like my best like single lift of the contest, I think, and probably like certainly my best anvil lift ever because like I lifted the 171 like multiple people said it to me, so like it's true, like as well as any of the guys lifted the 171 the first try.
Yeah.
When we get to the
Oh,
tiebreaker, it was another thing, but I
well,
was like proud of that, and it was like it was very
I
cool
didn't do
moment
good on the tiebreaker.
to like hang with like every like all the top guys, so like
Yeah.
that was very cool for me.
Well, and in your defense on that too, not that you need it, but everybody's different in the sport. But Jedd said he mentioned to me several times that the 171 was much harder for him to lift than the 190 based on the shape of it. He said, I just needed to get by the 171 because the 190 was going to be easier.
Let's
And
see, I'm
then,
glad I made everybody you had to do the ladder. I could let him jump to the 190.
yeah,
I mean, I didn't know it was
yeah,
gonna be, but I'm glad I made him earn it.
yeah. No, that's a good point
Yeah,
too. But yeah, so that's something he
but
said. So
yeah,
it's not like the 170 was just flying up for everybody. I mean, the
right.
event winner was basically like, man, I had to get by that thing just to get to the 190. Now, granted, most of us all failed the 190 and couldn't hang, but
Yeah, so I think
yeah,
so. I think four of us got the 170. I got the score sheet, but I think it was Sal, you, me, and Zach, and five of us in tie.
okay, or yeah, and
Yeah,
then okay with Jedd, yeah, okay.
yeah.
Um,
So the ones one, two, three. I have it as four. Huh. So Sal. Oh no, Zach Sandwich didn't get. He got the 154. So it was
okay,
you, me, Sal, and Ty got the 170, but missed the
okay,
190. Instead, the
yeah,
190
okay,
was
that's
Jedd
right.
and Tim got the 190,
Yes, yep,
and then and so the way we did it because like I thought we would like be losing. I mean, there's only five, and we're probably not going to lose anybody on the first two. So if you have
yes,
like 11 people and three anvils that people are missing on, there's going to be like big
big
clumps of
pile up.
ties. Yeah. So for this one, plus it's the end of the day, so like you can like like wear people out. So we're gonna do like a tiebreaker like AMRAPs. So for everybody who missed the 154, they have to do like a 1 minute AMRAP to you've got a sophisticated audience, right? As many reps as possible. I don't have to define things for the grip show audience, but
No, no, no. They
but
they
yeah,
they
so
they know the language.
it's like a 1 minute rep out, just to like break the ties. So then the
Mhm.
154s would all, they'd like all slot in on how they did, and then like same for the 170s, and then Jedd and Tim did their tiebreaker. So yeah, the 171s, we like I don't know, we were like bums on our tiebreaker. Sal got a couple reps, but we all zeroed that tiebreaker.
Yeah, I just sat there like I don't know. It probably looked like I was trying to push it into the ground and not even lift it up because I don't think it moved
uh,
hardly. And that's the one I just lifted to lockout right
I
before.
know, yeah. And, like I got like my first try, like I think I caught like air with it, but then after that, like I didn't catch any
I don't know
air
what it
for
was. I don't know if I was just kind of
yeah,
fried out and winding down or if
yeah.
the
I
anvil
don't
really
know.
was that tough. But yeah, it stopped me on that rep out. So
Yeah, and then Jedd won his tiebreaker against Tim because we were still in the contest. So post contest, Tim hadn't come out yet.
no. Not yet.
So Jedd won the event cleanly, and what was kind of fun, which like was not an anticipated thing, was because Yumi and Ty all got 0 reps in our tiebreaker, so we all like decided to just drop to 154 and do it
Yeah.
again, which is allowed because we make the rules.
Yeah, right. Well, it's not going to affect anything. It's only going to just like, yeah,
and then
it's good.
but then like randomly, Ty's always good for a highlight. He's my strongman buddy. He's a very good strongman.
Oh, he's super strong. Yeah.
Yeah, I like like Arnold Amateur kind of level strongman. He's a very strong dude. But yeah, so then he like repped out the 154 like somewhat out of nowhere, because I don't recall him like truly like killing his like attempts on the way up, but like he was lifting them. But I don't
that. But yeah, he beat me pretty handily on the rep out.
Then the rep out, he does 15 reps in 60 seconds. What the heck just happened? And he went first on it. Like I have to do 16 reps.
Yeah, and
like,
I like
whose idea was this? Yeah, we did pretty good. Like I got 10 and you got 12, but we still got smoked.
Yeah, and man, when I was doing that, I was thinking like, I'm probably just gonna go up and like not even regrip the first 6 reps. I'm just 154. I'm just gonna like 1, 2, 3, and then like on the second one, my hand started slipping or it hit the ground and it like shifted my whole hand, and I was like, well, okay, regrip, and then it like started frying out. I'm like, well, I gotta switch hands early, and then same. I'm like, maybe I'm just breaking down at the end of the competition or something.
But I mean, you 12 reps in a minute and you didn't win. That's like wild.
I could just tell from the beginning it wasn't mentally what I thought walking up to it. I kind of thought, oh yeah, I'll barely regrip. I'm just gonna rep this thing like crazy, and I don't even know if I ever got to like a triple on the same hand before having to switch. I was like, doubles, 1, yeah, just chipping away anything I could at that point.
Yeah, so that was like a fun little like a random like highlight at the end. I thought like we got our little 3-way like high rep battle.
No, yeah, it was good. I just died. I died out there a little bit,
and so that's a wrap. So Jedd won the last 2 events cleanly, and he was the champ. Redeemed himself. He got second at Feet Meet 1, came back and won the one Feet Meet 2. Chaz, we miss you. Jedd didn't beat Chaz though, so
he never has. He hasn't beat him at the Feet Meet head to head yet. Chaz is still 1-0 on Jedd, so
Chaz is coming back, and like it's gonna be a battle of the Titans.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
So Chaz Strange won the first the debut event, and then we have Jedd as the second year's winner. So Feet Meet 3, I assume you're probably gonna bring it back, and we're gonna have it to be determined on that.
Yeah, who's gonna be the winner, and then I think it was like Zach Stanowitz at the end. He's like, "What are you gonna like do next year, Alex? Like, it's like only gonna get bigger, right?" I'm like, can't get too big, because like I like to lift a lot at the contest. I think everybody likes to lift a lot, so we can't have like 25 guys and take like 14 hours. Like, so you get too many people, like you start to like lose how much you can lift. So there's gonna have to be like a balance. But the invitational aspect might really have to come into play next year.
Yeah.
So you guys all have to kill a year long.
Hopefully, Alex, with me placing in the top 3 this year,
I think you're safe.
Hopefully that makes me a Feet Meet professional, and I'm just guaranteed to at least, get grandfathered in for the next one.
No, I think any podium finishers are safe. Any podium finishers ever, so I can compete too. I got third last year, and I believe like during like our recap last year, because like you were hoping to make it, but I think you were in the middle of moving, so you weren't able to make it.
It was around that time.
And so I got third, but I was like, I only got like third because like I got your spot, like because if you were there.
I do remember that now.
Yeah, because I can't like break through these Zachs. So like you got third, Zach Stanowitz got fourth. Like I was calling it the wall. The wall.
Oh, sorry. Was Stanowitz there last year?
No.
Okay.
It was his first time.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but like I can't like break through this wall of Zachs to like get on the podium. So she got fourth, so I got fifth. But it's all good.
But that's a solid top 5. I mean, and it's
we had 5 anvils, so we could to take like a top 5 picture with them,
That's what I was going to
holding an
mention. We
anvil.
did some pictures at the end of the competition, like, hey, there's the top 3 standing on the anvils, top 5 holding the anvils, and then
Yeah.
people just started doing like random
Right.
pictures. And I know there was some group picture where everybody had something, and I think I was
Yeah,
trying
that
to
was
lift that
kind of fun.
171, and it never left the ground. So I'm just standing there and I'm behind an anvil I can't lift, and
We'll
everybody
just
else is
pretend
holding
you
something.
they were slow on the picture. You'd already put it down.
Yeah, yeah, 2 reps actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, speed
No,
work.
no, no. So no, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, so I think like part of like running like the feet-based contest,
Mhm.
like there still has to be like a clear way to like score each event. It's not,
Oh, for
it can't
sure.
just be like random. Like it's a real contest. There's like real winners and real losers and real like like there's
Mhm.
like a way to score each event. So and I think like you have to like when you get like creative with the events, you have to still be like grounded in like a clear like scoring method. Like
Yeah.
you can like get creative, but like it can't just be like random.
Well, yeah, you just don't want it to
Yeah.
be like weighted to where like, oh, this event, if you win this event, you can slack off the next 3 events because this one has more
Right.
impact than another. So yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Although, yes, promoters are able to you get as wild and crazy as you want. I mean, with a lot of things. I mean, now
Yeah.
what's tractor, what's not. Well, that's a different story. But yeah, as far as being a promoter, I mean, there's a lot of freedom there. But if the goal is to kind of see who's the strongest grip in the room or whatever is being tested, you have to have some kind of thing to measure that, and you don't want it to be chaotic or unbalanced. And your competition's always, I mean, the first 2 so far for that, I mean, have been just real dialed in on the scorekeeping and everything. So
Yeah. No. So I think no, I was happy with it. So it was a successful feet meet too.
yeah, and then like I said, thank you for the well. I know I didn't eat the bagels, but Sal brought bagels. There was a bunch of
Yeah.
pizza ordered afterwards, so thank you guys for that and everything. If anybody else brought any other stuff I'm unaware of, I'm going off the top of my head right now. But yeah, so there's a little bit of a hangout, and around
Yeah.
the pizza time is when Tim Butler came back to
That's
work.
exactly. Yeah, he just needed a slice and he was good to go. But yeah, so shout out to Sal. So Sal didn't beat Jedd, but Sal pushed Jedd even a little bit closer than the
Oh,
score would indicate because he
yeah,
was beating Jedd for 4 events. And that's like with stuff not going his way, he was still beating Jedd. And
yes, yep.
so like this I think this was like Sal's coming out party. I know he's like won other contests, but I don't know, maybe like to the homies. I think this was like Sal's like coming
Yeah,
out.
well, there was a lot of people that maybe they didn't catch what he did at Maryland's Strongest Hands. Um, but yeah, now it's almost like, okay, maybe you missed that one, but you didn't
Yeah.
miss Maryland and this, and then everything else he's been doing. Like, okay,
Right.
like it's pretty much known. So a lot of people were doing like feet meet predictions, and I saw some of that, and Sal was
Like
just
I see
flying
his
under the
name
radar,
anywhere, yeah.
and I'm
And
like, well, they just didn't know, they didn't
yeah.
know. I knew.
But I think
I honestly.
everybody knows now.
Oh yeah, but I told Sal a few weeks out from the competition, or maybe even a month or so. I said honestly, I said some people might consider you a dark horse because they just don't know. But I said I wouldn't be surprised if you won this damn thing, because he was
Right,
talking
yeah.
like he was going to be like trying to like claw his way up into the top, and I'm like I don't think you have to claw your way to the top. I said I think you might win this. Like that's my prediction. I said it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, of course, as a competitor, I have to, throw myself in there. If I don't think I can win, why would I show up? But yeah, in my head, I thought that him and Jedd were probably the front runners, and there were some question marks as to, experience or injury. I just wanted to see how things played out. But yeah, Sal was right there on my probably top pick to probably win this thing. Even with those question marks about steel bending and other stuff, I was like, he's just so strong, so much horsepower behind the lifts. I'm like, man, it's not going to matter technique wise. He's like for certain things like the bar. I'm like as long as he has some like decent technique, he's going to bend whatever
Right.
almost. Like yeah,
Yeah.
he's super strong. He's a freak. But yeah. So no, I think that was yeah. It's good now that it's kind of on the map for everybody
Right. Yeah,
versus
no, for sure.
So next time anybody's doing predictions and Sal's in a competition, you got to
Right.
take him serious.
He'll get the respect he deserves.
Yeah. So no, yeah, but it was also meeting a lot of the people for the first time too.
Yeah.
Um, I like I know we mentioned and I don't want to leave anybody out, but like Sal I had spoke to, like we all have. You, Alex. I mean, we've talked
Yeah,
on the
we
show a
talked
couple
so many
times and
times,
done
but this is the
stuff
first time in
and
person.
mailed stuff to each other from, I think you mailed me a box with a bunch of different stuff in it that was traveling
Oh
at one
yeah,
point
that
in
was a
time.
couple of years ago. That was super fun. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
that.
right. So
Yeah,
that so
yeah.
we had like mailed stuff years ago and bent some bars and
But
I
yeah,
think I shipped some steel to you. So we had talked,
this
but we
was
had never
our
met in person.
in-person debut. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So a lot of that stuff. So it was cool to, like Larson came in from Utah
yeah. People,
and
Larson traveled the farthest. He traveled all the way from Utah. He already got his big shout out in the Jedd video, but we can give him more shout outs. So.
no,
Yeah.
there's a limit. There's a limit.
All right, Larson, your shout out limit's been reached. I like your transfer cleans too.
No, that was a cool idea. Yeah, Jedd was kind of mentioning it to me when we were driving back to Pennsylvania, and it got me thinking about more stuff I could be doing. So yeah, thanks for that, Larson. So yeah, like I said, I'm probably leaving other people out that traveled pretty good ways. But yeah, off the top of my head, that's really what stands out. But no, it was good to meet. Like I done, Devin's a couple of his certs for reverse bending. And so it's just nice to meet some of these people that we see online and that,
Right. Yeah.
we finally
Exactly.
meet, get to compete, and everything's, just a lot of fun. So yeah, it's always a good time. I look forward to doing the next one. So
Like,
I'm
yeah,
I'm gonna put my name in for that. So yeah, I'll be
you're
there
in. You're
again.
invited. Invite guaranteed. You got
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Do I get my pro card?
You're a feet meet pro. You got it.
Okay. Okay.
But you're gonna have to laser cut it like you do your credit card sets for your
Okay,
grip show credit cards.
I'm putting that
Yeah.
pro
You
thing in.
actually, if you can have a pro card, if you make pro cards for us.
Okay, we're gonna make pro cards. I'm real quick. I know we just finished the sentence, but I'm trying to get this on my Instagram bio real quick,
Right,
so that
right.
people
Feet
know
meet
that
pro.
I'm a
Yeah,
Feet
yeah.
Meet Pro. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, I could have my card. You could grant it to me, but
Right.
if they don't know, what are we doing?
It'll be Instagram official. Don't worry.
So, but yeah, all jokes aside, Alex, great competition, man, and look forward to the next one, honestly, and
Absolutely.
hopefully
I'm
others
psyched.
are, jumping in after seeing some of this stuff, or maybe as videos get put out more, we'll, yeah, draw some other people like Sal, their debut, they just come out, guns
Yeah,
blazing.
exactly. Who'll be next year's Sal? We got a little bit of time, but we'll find him.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
anything else to add, Alex, or anything?
I think we covered it all, but yeah, no, it was great. No, thanks for having me on.
Okay, yeah, no problem. And like I said, we'll stay in touch, and yeah, I look forward to the announcement for Feet Meet 3
Yeah,
whenever that happens. No pressure, no
sure.
rush, but
Yeah. But that's the kind of time of year I like, that September time slot. So
yeah.
that's my time slot. You guys pick other ones.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it might stick. I mean, that's
Mid to late September's mine. No.
yeah. Yeah, Alex has put it out there, so you hear it here. Unless you think you can run something
Yeah, I
bigger.
will compete against you. Like if you want that
Okay,
slot,
yeah.
you can beat me for it, but you're gonna have to work hard.
Exactly. Right. So, hey, Alex, man, great having you on the show as
Yeah.
always. And yeah, man, I look forward to seeing what you come up with. So we'll kind of
You
just wrap
got
up
it.
there. And
All right.
yeah, and thanks for all you're doing on the bending side as well. I know it doesn't get covered as much on the show, but it is a part of this. It is kind of a part of the sport and the culture. And like I said, even if I'm not competing, I still follow along and I check it out. And I know other people are, it piques some interest sometimes. And
Heck yeah, no, I'm glad to hear it.
so yeah, yep, we'll let you guys go with that, and that is your Feet Meet 2 Invitational recap.
Heck yeah. All right.
See you next
Peace,
year.
guys.